Hello, friends. Welcome to an F1 Fantasy pole position deadline live stream, unlike any other. The azaleas are blooming, the patrons are walking, and the golfers are golfing. Oh, wait, no, that's the Masters. We're talking about the Bahrain Grand Prix today on F1 Fantasy pole position. What is up, everyone? It is time. We are here. We are hyped, says Adam. Looking forward to the stream, says Mr. Iceman. Austin says, same. Like the videos, you guys come in. Hello there, says Casper. Hi. Thoughts on the redonkulous pace of McLaren at FP3? Bro is yapping, not gonna lie. Yo, lovely intro, by the way. Yeah, you gotta get. I mean, maybe if you don't watch golf, you don't understand the reference, but that is all good, Parzival. I appreciate the jibes. Wow, just got in here in time. Yeah, we are here. We're here for the next hour, everybody, and we are talking F1 Fantasy, and we are talking about. Does anyone get it? Does anyone get my wife thought I was a little nerdy for doing this, but does anyone get this? Yep. Template City, baby. That's where we're at today. Cashlin says, already locked in the template. We'll still watch the stream. Appreciate that. Jeremy says, hey, Ewan, what is up? What is up? Colin says, hello. Batman says, pretty stoked for this weekend. Mitchell says, LFG. I can't say the middle part of that, but appreciate it. Football Forever says, hi. Hagar says, hello. Confusion here everywhere. Green. How's everyone doing? Team's locked in. It helps if you have a template. I accidentally locked in on waiting, but still here waiting. Yes, sir. Templates all the way. Well, I've locked in my teams. So this is the fourth race of the season already. And I've always kind of locked in my teams on the deadline stream. But there was honestly nothing, nothing convinced me to get away from the template. So here we are. It's been the 10-point hit hath been taken. Piastri, Ocon, Behrman, Doohan, Hadjar, McLaren, and Mercedes, guys. I've done it. I took the template. Template City. There we go. I'm boring. I know. But I did shake things up on my other squads, so we'll go over those in a little bit, but what's everyone thinking? Any questions? Are you going template? Are you going different? Are we budget building? What's the deal here? I watched Pop Pan Man's final thoughts last night. He pretty much laid it out as well. Like, the template is good for a reason because you're scoring points with Piastri, McLaren, Mercedes. You're still building budget with Ocon, Behrman, Doohan, and Hadjar. Yeah. And I said this last week on the deadline stream that I could have gone Lando, but that would have forced me to get a -20 this week, and now I only need a -10. So that's where I'm at. That's why it's kind of worked out for me. I'm not sure how it's going to work out in Saudi Arabia. We're going to go over that next week, but today it is Bahrain Grand Prix deadline questions. And we have some in here. Football Forever says, roll one transfer and have Stroll or pick Doohan without rolling a transfer. Oof. I mean, Aston Martin have looked pretty miserable this weekend. Stroll down here in 17th. I mean, that's not really a representative time, so we'll go to FP2. And it didn't get any better for Lance Stroll. There is a small chance that he can rise, like 8 points to get a 0.2 rise is not out of the question for Lance Stroll, especially when we look here. So like Aston Martin's qualifying sims from last night came in dead last. Yikes. And there's neck and neck with Alpine and ahead of Kick Sauber. So I don't really mind just rolling with Stroll if you really want to have a free transfer to roll next week. So that's kind of where we're at. Joe says hello. Macatech says thoughts for Mercedes versus Red Bull for second constructor besides McLaren. I just don't think Yuki's got that Red Bull dialed in yet. And I mean, Max wasn't super happy with car 7th in yesterday's FP2, and it didn't really get any better. 8th in FP3 as well. I only watched half of FP3, just doing Saturday things. So yeah, I think McLaren they've looked good in the heat, and it's going to be cooler at night. So yeah, I just unfortunately just if it ain't broke, don't fix it, Mac Attack. Keshan says, yeah, it makes sense for some of us. We've been planning it from last week. Matt Gillespie says, take a negative 30 for a template or just drop the wild card. Drop that wild card, Matt. Yeah, definitely worth a wild card for negative 30. Austin says, I don't know if I can get to the template because it would be a negative 20 for it. For one of my teams, other two, I can get to the template. I could have gotten to the template for my other two teams. We can get into it right now. That's whatever. I could have gotten to the template with these other two teams, Austin, but I didn't. I did something a little bit different. So the T2 squad went Oscar, Kimi, Hadjar, Ocon, Behrman with McLaren and Racing Bulls. That was a negative 10. And then for the third team, I went Piastri, Russell, Behrman, Doohan, Hadjar, McLaren, Haas. And you know what, guys? Let me ask this question. Should I... Yes, no. Hit me up in the poll here. Should I use autopilot on that T3 squad? Yes or no? Because, yeah, I mean, Russell's looking pretty good, but we'll see. We'll see how it goes. All right, let me catch back up here. Paper Crane says, I can go from Merc to Red Bull for the template. Is it worth it? To get to the template, you have to go up in price, or do you mean Red Bull to Merc? Because if it's that way, then I don't mind it. If it's one free transfer, then you're good to go. But hit me up again there, Paper Cranes. Maybe clarify that a little bit for me. Parzival says, I couldn't get to the template without a deduction, so I opted for Piastri, Antonelli, Behrman, Ocon, Hadjar with McLaren V-Carb. Hey, look at that. Same T2 team there, Parzival. Is that a... Oh, my goodness. I've read that book as well. I've read the book and I've watched the movie. The movie was not so good. But is that a reference to the one... Oh my goodness, why is it evading my brain right now? It's not Ender's Game. It's all the video games. Oh man, I'm mad at myself. Ready Player One. There we go. Is that a Ready Player One reference? Augustinus 10 says, do you think after Bahrain, Ferrari will be a better option than Merc? Possibly. If we look over here at the constructors... That negative 23 from Ferrari is about to drop off, 56 points, 65 points. But because Mercedes is scoring so many points anyway, Augustinus, they got a negative 40 this week for a massive price rise. Like, they're not going to score, they'll be able to keep rising. So until Ferrari shows us out on track that they are better than Mercedes, I don't think... I'm going to go there for now. I think I'm just going to keep them as is with McLaren. I think I'm keeping Haas Constructor to keep a transfer. Don't mind that at all, Eric. Perfectly fine. I have your exact lineup from last race with 106.9. Any different lineup you would do. So you got 2.5 more than me. If Red Bull had kind of shown us something, Zach, maybe I would have gone with them. But they just haven't shown us anything so far this weekend. So, I mean... Never count out Max specifically on a weekend, but just signs aren't looking all that good for Red Bull this weekend. So the only thing, I would probably just bank that, and that might be a little bit easier for you to get to someone else next weekend. Because 2.5 more, let's say that Ferrari only goes up. So how you're 3.4 away from Ferrari. So if things go your way, you could have a shot at getting up to Ferrari next week, which might be a good thing. So I think you're fine with the play that you've got right there as well. Hargov says, Sonoda drops, struggling more points on the table, needs 17 points increase. Yeah, I don't think Sonoda is going to rise this week. Is Haas or V-Carb an option for second team in this template? In the main template where most teams are going two big constructors, no. But if you're choosing between them, honestly, whoever you have, Colin, I would just keep rolling with them. Because negative 25, they're so neck and neck all week. If you have V-Car, I prefer Racing Bulls to Haas and Williams this week. But I don't think I'd be using a transfer to kind of flip and flop between each of them. So that's where I'm at there. I'm thinking Japan was the time to use Limitless. Most teams were in a good position for budget gains. Now, if you wait for Miami, you risk a DNF/bad race in Saudi and big budget hit for using Limitless. Possibly, Casper. I don't hate that as well. I mean, it's a little bit like Captain Hindsight, obviously. But, yeah, maybe. But there could be another opportunity coming around. Like, we have no idea what tomorrow's race is going to produce. Like, we'll all be... there'll be some stuff going on as well. And I'll be here 1 hour after the Grand Prix for the cooldown room. So don't forget to join me there. We've had some pretty exciting times there. We were covering the Hamilton, Leclerc, Gasly DQs a couple of weeks ago. So that was fun. And then just breaking down like, oh, there's going to be a new template next week. So that's what we did there. Ivan said, planning to take a -10, but I'm concerned I have to take another -10 for Saudi. I think it's going to be okay to take hits this year, Ivan. I haven't been a fan of it in the past, but until we can get up to this, like right now, people are jumping on this template so much because it's like such a good foundation for your squad to get an A-tier driver in Piastri, who might be the first or second best asset in F1 Fantasy right now on the driver side, and then getting the two strongest constructors so far this year in Mercedes and McLaren. You can fit those in. So we're going to keep gaining budget. We'll take points hits, but we'll keep gaining budget and more budget and more budget. And then eventually we'll be able to run a team with Piastri, Russell, McLaren, Mercedes, or maybe you got to go Ferrari for a couple of weeks to get away from Mercedes and keep building budget or something like that. But the continuous like rollover of this budget, we'll keep getting there, and we'll get those points back eventually that we're giving back to the rest of the field. But it is a good point that things are going to get a little bit tight in Saudi Arabia next week. So if you don't have them, we should all be cheering for Fernando Alonso and Pierre Gasly to have very good weekends this weekend. Probably Carlos Sainz as well. Nico Hülkenberg, Gabby Bortoleto as well. Maybe like 7 points for him if you don't have him, so he doesn't rise, but you get some like good points there. He's not going to go down anymore. So yeah, that's kind of where we're at with that. But yeah, we would love Alonso to have a good weekend before we bring him in for Saudi, because then he'll be guaranteed a price rise maybe for a couple of weeks if he does really well, which would help out those of us that are trying to think about going limitless in Miami. But yeah, Alonso, Gasly, those are kind of the guys we're cheering for outside of the F1 Fantasy circles right now. Parsville says, no chance you want Stroll. Yeah, but he just sits at the back of the grid. It may not be the worst week to take a -2. I'm not entirely sure, but he's definitely going to drop next week. So if you can't get rid of him this week, it's not the worst thing to hold him, because he's not going to super hurt you. But it's next week that I think is going to be pretty brutal for that. Mateo said, I did a funny thing. So my T1 is template, my Team 1 is template, but McLaren Red Bull, and my third team is template, but McLaren and Ferrari. Damn, I like that as well. Same teams, so either keep template, says Joe, or keep Williams for +3 more, but -25 budget. Thoughts? Yeah, I'm just keeping the template. I mean, it is 0.3. Like, those will eventually add up over the course of the season, but there's no reason that we can't get back into the budget building with the constructors. Like, just because we're going away from it this week doesn't mean that we can't get back to it in a couple of weeks either. There's a world where maybe we go down to that for Saudi Arabia to kind of lock in those price changes for Miami, and we just get back on it after Miami as well to get back to the A-tier thing. So I don't know. I don't think it would be worth it unless it was 8 points for a 0.6 increase. Yeah, that's a good point, Parzival. But yeah, I don't think I'd keep Williams. I was kind of thinking about that as well, trying to think about going a little bit different, but it did not work out. I mean, as you can see, I did the template. So there are 95 of you guys watching, which is awesome, and 19 likes. So I always strive to get like 50% of the viewers to like. So if you guys if I've answered your question, you guys are tuning in, hit that like button. You don't have to subscribe if you don't want to. No worries there, but the likes are always helpful because it spreads the stream to a bunch of other people, which is always handy. Forever Mighty says Norris, McLaren, V-Carb, Stroll, Ocon, Behrman, Hadjar, and 1 free transfer into Saudi or template, but a -20. Oh man, You could get away with that forever, Mighty. Like, if Stroll puts up 8 points, you'll be sitting quite pretty with the rest of that squad, and you'll have 3 free transfers in Saudi Arabia to kind of adjust and see where you need to go if you're going to play like your Limitless in Miami. So I don't hate that. I haven't done that in any of my teams, so like, but if I'm just looking at your team in a vacuum, I don't mind that. I like the logic. So if that's how you want to play the game, play it your way. That's no problem. I'm never going to advise someone to not go against their like logical thinking and stuff like that, because it makes sense to me. I just didn't do that, but if you think that's the right way to do it, go for it. Mercedes versus Russell. I want to keep Haas for budget and LL Miami. AB Mose. Yeah, what is up, AB Mose? So let's see. Mercedes. Just because like the constructors are always going to outscore one driver kind of thing. Unless you're 2-time you've seen Russell, then maybe Russell. Parzival, since I quit my job, FP3 saves me from my boredom. Yeah, each Saturday. Yeah, I can't disagree with you there. Matt Gillespie says, what's up? I heard FP2 is, where'd we go? Scoot me all the way down. Is the best one to base data off with only night prices. Yeah, that is correct, because it's just the most representative of when the race is going to happen and when qualifying is going to happen. The track temperatures during FP1 and FP3 were like 50 degrees, and like that's just not how the cars are going to roll. So even if we go with FP3, like you can see, Red Bull didn't look that good. They had the stuff to do overnight, and it didn't really work out. But even in the representative time, Austin, Hadjar 6th, Verstappen 7th, Ferrari here in 8th, Leclerc looking okay, but yeah, Mercedes 3-5, Piastri Norris 1-2, like whatever way you slice it, McLaren looks epic this weekend. Bernard says Ferrari got me excited for future races. Hopefully they can be more competitive. Yeah, that could be another interesting wrinkle that comes along. Like Ferrari could surprise us this weekend a tiny bit. And maybe look good going into Saudi Arabia, which could be an option for budget building, because like their Chinese Grand Prix will have fallen off, and you know, if you're trying to find budget in other places, like that could be an option as well. Mr. Iceman says, I have a master plan for my team. Wait till I run it past you. Okay, I'm ready, Mr. Iceman. If it was your T1 team, I would say no, but yeah. Oh, you're talking about the captain or the autopilot. Diego says, what do you think of Piastri doing Bordello, Behrman, Hadjar, McLaren, Mercedes? Greetings from Vienna, Diego. I would say, welcome to the template squad. That's where we're all joining. We're all joining the template squad around here. So hop on board. What about Bordello versus Doohan, says Mac Attack. I mean, it comes down to budget. If you can get to Doohan, I like him because he only needs 3 points for max price rise. I don't think Bordello is going to get to 12. Bordello can't go down, so that's not bad. But yeah, Doohan is right there. Like, could get you an easy price rise. And the thing is, if Doohan goes up a max price rise, Mac Attack, he'll be 6 million next week. And if Alonso goes down, which looks likely, he'll be 6.4. And then it should, like, if Alonso has a good, that's why we want Alonso to have a good weekend, because then it's an easy flip from Doohan to Alonso. We can get off of Doohan for Miami in case he gets replaced by Colapinto. And then you've hopefully got Alonso for a couple of weeks getting some easy price rises while you're on your Limitless. Parzival says, yes, it is for Ready Player One. Austin, the fastest time. Book is superior. Yeah, I totally agree, Parzival. The movie was just a little disappointed. Mitchell says, you just want to say thanks for all the great videos and analysis. This is my first year in F1. It's been a blast. Thank you, Mitchell. I really, really appreciate that. Ready Player One, but I love Ender's Game, dude. Yeah, I know. Paper Crane says, oh, here we go, Paper Crane. Sorry for the confusion. I have to take a -10 either way, but instead of following the template, I have enough budget to get Red Bull over Mercedes. I think I answered the question, maybe just like not directly talking to you, Paper Cranes, but Mercedes just looks a little bit stronger this weekend, even despite the whole like hot weather, cool weather narrative. I kind of pointed out after China, like China was also pretty warm and Mercedes looked a-okay there, especially Russell. We found out after the race that Antonelli picked up some damage and then he got driver of the day, even though no one knew he had damage. Okay, whatever you say. We'll take the 10 points and run. But yeah, I think Mercedes just looks a little better this week. So Here we've got them in qualifying sims. So Mercedes is a little off the pace of Red Bull in qualifying, but I think I trust Russell to stick that thing on the second row. I would take him over both Ferraris right now. I think I call him the mop because if there's an opportunity to like clean up a spill, he will be there. So that's one thing there. And then as you can see, Mercedes, according to FP2 data, has a significantly better race pace advantage over Ferrari. So even if Russell does qualify on the third or fourth row behind a couple of Ferraris, I back him to make up some places, and same with Antonelli probably. I mean, Antonelli versus Hamilton and Leclerc would be pretty epic to watch, just like the rookie taking on those like two wily vets, especially Hamilton. So see how that goes down. But yeah, I kind of trust Mercedes to get it up. Parzival says, I would take Merc, better chance for double driver score. Austin, yeah, you guys are great. You guys are like talking to each other in chat. Really appreciate it. Helping me out as I catch up on the questions here. Jamie Duncan says 103.2, so called template except with Antonelli, not Piastri, and carry one transfer or go to Piastri and Bortoleto. So you have Doohan instead of Bortoleto right now, Jamie, is what I'm kind of picking up on. Yeah, it's really tough to get away from Piastri this week. He looks so good. Like honestly, he might be the favorite to win the entire thing right now. Like he put what, like half a second into Lando in FP3. Yeah, he put almost 7/10 on Lando in FP3, and then in FP2 last night, beaten by 1500ths. So Piastri looks on it, and when he's on it in these kinds of weekends, I don't really doubt him all that much. So if you can get to Piastri, I think I would. FPL YOLO says, what's your final team for T1? Yeah, sorry, let me get back to that, guys. I'll just kind of load that up on the screen. This is the T1 squad. It is Template City. We're still here. We don't use this plate that much in my house. And on the green screen, it's kind of like disappearing with the green screen. But yeah, Template City over here. So this is my squad. This is my squad for the Bahrain Grand Prix. Actually, just 7 minutes ago, posted it on X and Blue Sky. Alex Gauss says, I'm 0.3 short to afford McLaren or Piastri, McLaren, Mercedes. I could swap Doohan for Bortoleto to get there, but the budget gain is 0.9 less likely than a budget building team with a B tier constructor. Thoughts? My first kind of thought is to like go Russell over Piastri, but Piastri looks so strong. Bortoleto can't cost you any budget, so I don't mind going there either. Something may happen to Doohan, you never know. It's not the worst thing in the world to kind of be a little bit different, but I think Piastri and McLaren just look so strong. It's really hard to get away from them this weekend. Alex, so that's where I would be at. Augustina says, I hope we have something different from the template after Bahrain because I'm tired of using the same drivers. I think it's going to get... It's templatey this week, but like if we get some drivers scoring some pretty good points, like the Alonsos, the Gasleys, if the Ocons and the Behrmans can have a good weekend as well, maybe Albon, maybe Sainz, like it's going to be a better overtaking track than Japan, so there will be some inflated points, which will be nice for us. Japan was like a little bit of a bummer because it's just like no one was scoring any points, like moving up or down the grid. But Bahrain should give us a little bit more overtakes, a little bit more positions gained, that kind of stuff. So I think if we can get some of the drivers who aren't as popular in our squads kind of having good weekends, then that will be better for that. As we can see here, Augustinus, according to the elite data on F1 Fantasy Tools, we got the Patreon 500 here. Oh, sorry. Here we go. Patreon 500. Do we have the Global 500 yet? Yeah, but Global 500 is just full of people that have used Limitless. So Patreon is you guys that love F1 Fantasy Tools. And if you do love F1 Fantasy Tools, you can still use promo code UN50 for 50% off your first month. So would highly advise you to do that. And obviously, if you're enjoying the channel, you can like and subscribe to the channel. Any support is appreciated. We're over 2,600. Next step, 2,650. Step after that, 2,700. There we go. Yeah, 97 viewers. Thanks, everyone. 40 likes. We're almost to that 50% mark. So 9 more, and we'll be over 50%, and then I will stop bugging you about it for the rest of the stream. But appreciate everyone that has liked it so far. So looking at the Patreon top 500 here, this will update after the lineup locks because F1 Fantasy Tools is a fantastic website. You should always use them. Behrman, Ocon, Piastri, Hadjar are all already in 50% of the Patreon top 500 teams. Hadjar went up. I guess people were anticipating the price rise. Maybe they were okay going a week early, getting some points, but getting hit on some budget. So that's always interesting. Hulkenberg, Bortoletto. Hulkenberg will go out of a lot of teams. But yeah, who rose the most? Behrman, Hadjar, Bortoletto, Tsunoda. I think Tsunoda will go down quite a bit as well. I mean, that was him as a Red Bull asset. And then 2 times is between Piastri, Norris, Antonelli, Russell, 0.4% of the Patreon top 500. 2x Verstappen in China. And as you can see here, it is very it's at 36% before the template has taken shape. I would expect this to be if like 99 and like 65 here after the date, I'll try and remember that for the cool down room tomorrow, which will happen 1 hour after the Bahrain Grand Prix. 33 minutes to go. So if you haven't gotten your questions in, you've still got a little bit of time, but yeah, here we're still rocking and rolling here on F1 Fantasy pole position. Fuma86 says, had 3 transfers saved and just going Hulkenberg, Stroll, and Williams out for Hadjar, Doohan, and Mercedes. Template. Fuma, same for me with my Piastri teams. Thought on Piastri 3X this week. Well, who would your 2X go on, Parzival? If you got like a Piastri Russell lineup, I don't hate it. A little bit of a differential this early in the season. But yeah, don't mind that at all. Leica M says, is your T1 squad locked in? It sure is. I mean, it looks like I can still make transfers, but if you look up here in the top, oh, you guys can't see that. Oh yeah, maybe like right up there in the top right, it does say 1 additional transfer, -10. So yeah, the team is locked in. Leica, that is the squad. What about McLaren / Racing Bulls and Norris, Hadjar, Behrman, Ocon, Doohan? Don't mind that at all. Stanley, like that's a great variation on the template. You're building some budget there. You're taking the points with Norris, but I think just like head to head this week, I think I'm backing Piastri more than Norris, and F1 Fantasy Tools is as well. If we go to the team calculator, I haven't actually shown you guys the expected points yet. Piastri, 0.8 points more than Norris this weekend. I mean, that's minimal. But also, when you go with Norris, you have to think about how you are possibly looking at only a 0.1 price rise. As you can see here, Norris has a 28% chance of a max price rise, 66% chance of a secondary price rise, whereas Piastri is at 93% because the required points, Piastri only needs 15 points. He could get that by this afternoon, or not get that by this afternoon, but like he could have 10 of those 15 points in 90 minutes from now, because he could easily take pole here in Bahrain. Whereas Norris, 40 points, like that's a lot. If he gets pole and wins the race without any overtakes, that's 35 points. Probably get driver of the day. So like you get it that way, but you're not relying on bonus points there. You never really want to rely on bonus points. That's why Antonelli does scare me a little bit, because 29 points in China on a sprint weekend, 23 points in, oh my goodness, Japan with fastest lap. He's been like 20 of those 52 points have come from bonuses. And I don't really trust that all that much. So that's where I'm at with the, yeah. So that's where we're at with that, Stanley, if I can say that as many times in a sentence as I just did. Sammy says, what's up, you? And thank God the template is the best team. Like I told you on X, I somehow locked in early. Yeah. The template joke is very funny, I promise. Yeah, you know, if I just keep doing it, it'll eventually either get really funny or really sad that I'm still doing it. But I'm committed to the bit, Parzival. So I'm just gonna keep going with that until the bitter end. So that's where I'm at. Calippo Man says, same Team 1 as your last video. Yes. T1 is locked in. Piastri, Ocon, Behrman, doing Hadjar, McLaren, Mercedes. That is what I said in my team selection video, I think. Yeah. And I think I had that on the stream on Wednesday night. I said it in my Spider-Man tweet a couple of times this week as well. So yeah, Cameron says, thank you for all your help, man. Keep doing what you're doing. Thank you, Cameron. Appreciate that. All right. What do you think is better? McLaren, or Football Forever says, what do you think is better? McLaren, Mercedes, and Russell, or McLaren, Red Bull, and Russell? McLaren, Mercedes, and Russell is better for point scoring. But I would say that McLaren, Red Bull, and Russell might be a little bit safer in terms of not having all your eggs in one basket, just in case something crazy happens in the race. Hagar says, it's average budget rise for a race, 2.5 per race, 20 million. No need to worry about Limitless in Miami. Okay. Interesting. So, okay. Why do we not need to worry about Limitless in Miami, Hagar? I would like to just, I'm not actually worried about it. Like, I'll play it at a different race this season if I have to. Not too bad. But yeah, I'd love to hear your thoughts on that. Williams, Constructor, or Haas, whichever one you have in your team right now. Unfortunately, I do not know how to pronounce your name. Please let me know so I can learn, because I'd love that. As someone called Ewan, E-U-A-N, that has 3 vowels and a 4-letter name. Thanks, Mom and Dad. I would love to learn that. But if you have Williams, stick with Williams. If you have Haas, stick with Haas. If you have Racing Bulls, stick with Racing Bulls. Don't waste a free transfer on kind of skirting around those teams. So yeah, that's what I would say. Austin says, that is nerdy, but so good. Do you have a crazy prediction? Do I have a crazy prediction, Guillermo? You know what? Let's think. I can think of one on the fly. I will say my crazy prediction is... Now, can I do it on a technicality? I'll say that Carlos Sainz beat Alex Albon this weekend. Doesn't feel that crazy, but considering that he's down 3-0 to him on the season, I'm going to take that and run with it. Let me know. Is that crazy enough? But if you want me to up the ante, I can do that, Guillermo. Benad says, if you grab the promo for F1 Fantasy, you get a discount for the next 2 races. I believe that is correct. What teams do you think will do good in Saudi? Do you believe that in Ferrari comeback, or you think Mercedes will stay on top behind McLaren? That is tough. We'll see how this Ferrari floor actually does over a race distance tomorrow. The sim, or the data from F1.com says that there's still a pretty big bit off the back behind Red Bull and Mercedes. So that's not great. But over an entire race distance, we'll see tomorrow how that works. They'll get more, they'll understand some more. They'll get more data. They'll understand how the car works a little bit better. So eventually, I think Ferrari will get back in the fight. Do I think they'll have enough time to do it in time for Saudi? That's tough. I don't think, unless I need it for an insane budget reason, I can't really see myself flip-flopping a McLaren to a Ferrari to jump on them, because I don't know all the tracks that well, specifically, team by team, just because we're only 3 races into the season, so we're not entirely sure of all the team's characteristics yet. But, I would expect McLaren to still be pretty good in Saudi Arabia. We'll see how Ferrari does tomorrow, or tonight and tomorrow in Bahrain. But I think I could see myself getting on Ferrari in Saudi Arabia, if they're really low in point scoring business, and I want a safer option for what am I talking about? For Miami. So yeah, you could maybe go from Mercedes to Ferrari for a safer budget building, possibly in Miami, but you'd have to go from an Ocon that goes up 0.6 down to a Bortoleto or something to kind of get you that amount of money. So I might just be sticking with what I've got there. But thanks for the question, Casper. Austin, I have Norris, Behrman, Ocon, Hulkenberg, Stroll with McLaren. Well, I think I'm going -20 for Norris, McLaren, Mercedes, or -10 for Norris plus Antonelli, McLaren / Haas. Thoughts? 106.1 budget. Second team would have Bortoleto. First team do it. I think I would go. I think I would just go all in for that, Austin, and take the -20. Is template worth a wild card with -20? Yes, I think hits are going to be worth it this season, but we never know what's going to happen. So if you know that you can definitely save 20 points this week with a wild card, Heatherbridge, I would do it. That's what I did in China. I used my wild card. I saved myself 20 points. It's fine. James B says, I'm starting to think Limitless is not to be used on a sprint. Look at the points low drivers got for overtakes, etc. Yeah, but it's always 3-point scoring sessions in a weekend, and that's always a little bit handier for just in general point score, especially if like assets are like the problem is like building a Limitless team to like have budget risers for the during the Limitless time might be a little bit difficult. So like I think we were talking about this at the top of the stream and someone commented on it, and Fraser did it last week in Japan. Shout out to them. That it could be like, okay, we've got some assets locked in that are going to price rise for the next 2 weeks. That might be the time to play Limitless. Like the next time that we know for sure that assets are going to rise for the next couple of weeks. That's why I feel it's okay to bring in Hadjar. Doohan, I kind of want, but I'd love to transfer him out next weekend to Alonso. And that would be great because I think Alonso will rise a couple of weeks in a row, especially if he keeps dropping. And if he scores a bunch of points this weekend, it could be really good. 2x would be on Ant, but I don't know if he'll get top 5. Therefore, I am hesitant. Yeah, I think I would just stick. I don't know if I'd use the extra DRS boost with Antonelli in my lineup. I just feel like taking a bit of a gamble. Well, then go for it. It still is pretty early in the season, though, Parsifal. Like, I know it's always kind of, yeah. I get a little, like, trigger happy, as you can see. 71% of you guys say, no, I should not use the template or the autopilot chip on the Russell team. So yeah, there you go. Like I said, it's natural to get a little trigger happy with the chips, but I would probably avoid it right now. But now I started to compare 6 options for each team. Template just works. The math works out. Agreed. Matt Burnett says, thoughts on Piastri, Antonelli, Doohan, Hadjar, Ocon, McLaren, Haas, only 1.4 budget spare. Let's see. Yeah, I like that squad. Sammy says, Yuki did not fly, change of plans here. 4 top assets. Robin says, Ewan, what's your Grid Rivals fantasy team this week? Great question, Robin. Thank you for reminding me that I need to change my Grid Rivals team. Admittedly, last week I had to drop Bortoletto and I didn't have any money to make a transfer. So now I have to... Look at this. I have to add 3 drivers and a constructor this week. Okay, so that's not going to go too well for me. Admittedly, I am slacking a little bit. Aurelia says, I have Russell, Hulkenberg, Stroll, Ocon, Albon, McLaren, Williams. Should I go Hulkenberg to Doohan and Albon to Hadjar, or wildcard for Norris, Hadjar, Behrman, Ocon, Doohan, Mercedes plus Red Bull? Ooh. Russell. So then you'd have Russell, Doohan, Stroll, Ocon, Hadjar, McLaren, Williams. Oof. I don't know if I'd use the wild card on that, Aurelia, but I do like both of those options. I don't think you can go wrong with either option. How's FPL going? I had Brighton on my bench boosts. I know João Pedro scored, but I know Leicester have also scored, so not that great. What's the plan for your T1 team towards Saudi Arabia, says FPL YOLO. Let's see here. The ideal scenario is that Ocon, Behrman, and Hadjar have fantastic races, and I don't have to worry about them next week. And then Doohan gets enough points, but I think the sacrificial lambs for next week will be Doohan and Ocon, and they'll come out, and it'll probably be going towards something like an Alonso at 6.4. So I'll have 8 million left. So say he's 6.4, or I've gained. So let's add, I don't know if this math checks out, but let's add 1.2 million to that at 8. So that'll be 9.2. So 9.2 million, who could I get to with a second free transfer? I'd be just away from Lance Stroll. I'd be just outside of Pierre Gasly. So yeah, it's tough. I mean, it could just like I might just have to take a little bit of a hit and go with let's see, because could I? Yeah, because if Doohan goes up 0.6 and Alonso falls 0.6, I'll have enough to just do Doohan to Alonso, and that might just have to be what I do. FPL YOLO. My crazy prediction is a shocking Q1 exit. Come on, Alvin Alcy, put your money where. Give me a name. Give me a name to go out in Q1. I have another great idea because I have 1.06. Should I do McLaren / Red Bull and Russell, or take a negative 10 to switch Russell to Piastri? Man, that is tough. I think I would go Piastri. He looks so strong this weekend. It's undeniable at this point, like how good he looks. McLaren plus Mercedes with Russell plus Hulk, or McLaren plus Haas with Piastri and Russell? Oof. Damn. That is also tough. I think I'd go McLaren Mercedes with Russell and Hulk. Can you get like Hadjar in instead of Hulk, or do you just have to keep Hulk because you won't have enough transfers? Let me know, Doug. That would change my mind a little bit as well. Racing's episode, good one. You and my crazy prediction is Lawson and Tsunoda both score points. I think that's good. I think I will only use one transfer for my struggling team. It's still good for budget, but I want to maximize points. Yeah, of course. You're welcome. Alvin Alici. Hopefully I'm saying that right. Austin, thank you for always giving me the confidence to make those big moves. I mean, you got to play it your way, Austin. Come on. You got to back yourself. I like it. Christopher says, should I have Hülkenberg, Hadjar, and Ocon in my lab, or switch them out for somebody else? I like Hadjar. I like Ocon, but I don't like Hülkenberg. So if you can get rid of Hülkenberg, Christopher, I would probably get them out of there. We are over the 50%, guys. So thank you very much for getting me there. 50 likes. People are locking in their team, so we're losing a little bit of momentum in the viewers, but that's okay. I appreciate you guys sticking around. Macatech says, crazy prediction, Max out-qualifies outside the top 10, and one of the Ferraris out in Q1. Oof! Man, just going double big prediction there, Macatech. Let's see if I can end this poll. I don't think I can. Oh, there we go. End poll. All right, so 71% of y'all said that I should not use my autopilot, so I will not, because I didn't really. Yeah, I mean it's not bad, but it's not great either. Casper, why Casper? Come on. After locking in the template time, I played a bit of F1 24. Piastri had a mechanical failure in my team race. Final destination vibes. Oh. All right, I am recording this live stream, so if anything epic happens like that, Casper, I will clip it. I'll put it on TikTok or whatever, and yeah, you can watch my reaction there. But yeah, if you guys do the TikTok, I am on there at F1 Fantasy Ewan. So, yeah, would appreciate you guys follow me over there. Mr. Iceman says, I did Hulk and Albon to Hadjar and Doohan, left with 11.3 cost cap. I know, but listen. And final fixing whoever scores highest except Lando. Then with 3 free transfers, move to McLaren Constructor next week. Absolute cinema, Mr. Iceman. There's a method to the madness there somewhere, but I fully support it because you have thought it through. It sounds good to me. Probably too complicated for me to figure out, but if you can do it, go ahead. I believe in you. Please let me know on the cool down room stream tomorrow how that all shakes out. Parzival, I'm so tempted for 3x. Give me a heads or tails, Ewan. Oof, man, I don't have anything here to do that. I've got some sunshades, so if the glasses go up or the glasses go down, heads or tail, which one do you want? Shades up for you'll do it, and then shades down for you don't, Parzival? Let me know, and then we'll do that live on air. Great content recently. Thanks, Sammy. You're welcome. Thank you for supporting the channel, Casper. Parzival says followed. Albon or Alonso? Ooh. For this week? Man, that's tough. I guess I'd go Albon, because it looks like you're probably going to avoid a huge fall there, Robin, but not too bad. I think I'd go Albon. Just get some points. Keshlin says, at what point in the season do you think we should focus on points instead of budget? This is such a tough question, and I have been racking my brain trying to figure it out, Keshlin. So, but I think we're going to have opportunities to build budget all season. And going template this week does kind of put me towards like the point scoring kind of thing. But yeah, it's tough. It's kind of, it could just be a thing where like, oh, we're so close to like, we'll just ride in all these B tier drivers that we don't really have to worry about building budget. Cause like right now I've got 4 B tier drivers. Hopefully they all go up 0.6. Hunky dory, very happy tomorrow in the cool down room. But I think it'll just be kind of like an ebb and flow. Eventually, it will turn into a point where we all, or a lot of us, can afford 2 A-tier drivers, 2 A-tier constructors, and that will be the, I'm just riding this points, I'm riding it out, just trying to like get lucky with a DNF here or there. And so I think it's just going to be, I think that's just going to be like how we roll for the entire season. So I don't think there's going to be a definitive point in the season yet. Max says, I don't tiki-talkie, but we'll go watch the clip. If I do the clip, I'll put it on YouTube as well, the YouTube shorts as well that I do. I'm doing this strat too, haha. Bearman or Ocon, I'd go Bearman. Timazi says, what about Merc, Racing Bulls, Norris, Piastri, Bearman, Doohan, and Hadjar? Oh my goodness, that is a filthy squad, Timazi. Yeah, I kind of like that quite a bit. I like it. I like that a lot. Sammy said, had to qualify all RR drivers. Yeah, shades up. I will do it. All right, here we go. Live. We're gonna seal Parzival's fate. Sorry for the loud noise. It was heads up. I promise. I'm raising them right now. Heads up. So there you go, Parzival. Sounds like you're playing the 3X, but you really don't have to if you don't want to. I don't think we'll hold it against you. Saif says, if I have the choice between Russell and Antonelli, who should I go for? Russell. Parcel says, great, now I've just seen your TikTok on Ant and I'm regretting the sunglasses. Yeah, my bad. Tell me I have a master plan. No, I was just stuck with 2 budget constructors, so trying to fix my budget still for Melbourne. Final fix Ant to max if he scores. Yeah. Fix final fix and add to Matt if he scores pole, for example. I like it, Mr. I was in it. I'm in on your master plan. So I like it. It's a little too complicated for my brain, but that doesn't mean that it's a bad one. I'm fully on board with it, and I can't wait to hear how it goes. Robin, thank you for the compliment. I honestly, that is actually like an embarrassingly nice compliment, so I'm not going to put it on the screen, but I do really appreciate it. Mr. Iceman says, minimizes my cost cap loss with leaving 11.3 million in the bank. Don't mind that at all, Mr. Iceman. You said it, so I switched Russell's Piastri for -10, so I have McLaren, Red Bull, and Piastri, Ocon, Bearman, Doohan, Hadjar. Let's go, football forever. I love it. I'll get to a place where I can back myself up, LOL, just shaking off those newbie doubts. Don't worry about it, Austin. You've got this. Yeah. I mean, the thing is, like, a lot of us have, a few of us, maybe, I don't know. Let me know in the comments if you guys have played more than one season of F1 Fantasy. But I've played for a few seasons, and every season is almost different. Like, this year is a totally different pricing algorithm than last year. So it's like, it's almost like we're playing a whole new game. So even though some of us have been around the block a little bit, around the track, I guess that would have been a better pun, that maybe there's like a little bit of built-in knowledge, but I really don't think it's like, we're getting there. And it's like I said, you like and subscribe to the YouTube channel. We will walk each other through the entire season, but we are 11 minutes till the deadline, people. If you have not locked in your squad, get that stuff done or ask me some last minute questions. Kimi or Russell, Parzival, goddamn. Okay. We'll see how it goes. Let me know. Timazi. And for my T2 and Piastri, Russell, Ocon, Doohan, Hadjar, McLaren, and Haas, though. Yeah, I like that too. I think I have that as one of my teams. Where is that? Piastri, Russell, Ocon. Oh, I have Bearman, Doohan, Hadjar, McLaren, Haas. So yeah, I like that a lot, Timazi. Aurelia says, I heard Doohan had a hard time last week. Wouldn't he be potentially DNF with the heat in Bahrain? I don't know. It's a night race, so it's not that bad. Mr. Iceman said, it's not complicated per se, just sacrificing cost cap, but still minimizing points lost by using the final fix. Whoever scores pole is behind Lando, and next week I'm finally on McLaren Instructor. Okay. Yeah. I think I understand what you're doing, Mr. Iceman, but you're playing chess and I'm playing checkers over here. Mac Attack says, good luck to everyone's team. You all rock. You do also, Mac. Parzival says, I did it. Let's go, Parzival. Thank you. I mean, I don't know. Hopefully you're thanking me after the Grand Prix tomorrow. Or my sunglasses that went. Also, don't forget F1 Predict. Yeah, I do have a league for that. I will share the code at some point. But yeah, that's where we're at. Let me go check the old Twitter. Let's see. Parzival. Follow back on X. Hit me up on X at F1 Fantasy U, and if you're interacting with me, I will more than likely follow you back. So, but yeah, Tamazi says, trying to get points for my T2, it's pretty much in the trenches, so hopefully Piastri and Russell score points. I don't mind that at all. I don't have Wildcard. It's taking a negative 20 for the template. Worth it? I don't have Wildcard either. I took a negative 10. A negative 20 is verging on not great. Let me know if you have any other teams that you can get to there, James. Mark Johnson says, couldn't get to template, 2.2 million short. Ocon out, Bortoletto in, McLaren, Mercedes. Don't mind it at all. Don't mind that at all, Mark. I mean, it's Bortoletto he's not going to cost you any budget. So that's not a bad thing at all. If Antonelli 2x, Piastri 2x works, the sunglasses have to be a lucky token for future streams. Yeah, we'll start to have the sunglass flip of the week. Hopefully not intruding too much on Rain Fantasies Microsoft Paint tip of the week, but we'll just do the sunglasses flip of the week over here on F1 Fantasy Pole Position. But we are 8 minutes away, everybody. I'm not sure if my counter has gone a little too fast. No, we're still there. Still right on cue. Football Forever says, it is so effing windy in Bahrain. Because some people were struggling with that last night and this morning with the wind. I think Verstappen got caught a couple of times with the wind in FP3. Varun says Behrman or Carlos. I would say Behrman. Devlin says Haas or VCarb. Whichever one you have. If you have one of them right now, just go with that one, Devlin. You don't have to flip or flop between them, but I would put VCarb over Haas if you were picking one straight up. But if you have one or the other already, I would just stick with that one because I don't think it's worth kind of flipping or flopping down there. It's almost that time. It is almost that time. Oh, you know what? I had this tweet lined up. And I never sent it, but most of y'all have been here for the entire time, so I appreciate you. Yeah. Honestly, my T2 is just what you do each week to see how much better I would have done if you listened to your advice. Well, hopefully that team is doing okay. Parzival, yes. Yeah, we'll see. I mean, that's kind of why I know some people will ask, like, why do we have 3 teams? Like, what's the point in that? But I think it's kind of a lot of fun to have all these teams and just doing just some different things. Like, I mean, I like my T1 squad. Obviously, you're looking after that. That's your global ranking. Like, that's what you do. Like, blah, blah, blah. Like, that's where I finished last year, whatever. But it's nice to have all these other options. You can play around, do some different things, and you can like save your season. You can play a Limitless chip in a different week, try to get the high score, get that, what was it, like a 10-pound voucher to the F1 store or something like that if you want to. All that fun stuff. Guillermo says, podium, Piastri, Norris, Russell. Pretty much as boring as it comes, Guillermo. So that is where I am at with my podium. But yeah, let me know, guys, what are y'all's podium predictions? What have we got going on there? Let's see. Oh, damn. Everton just scored 94th minute winner to beat Nottingham Forest. Joys to the Blues. Not really, as a Liverpool fan. Whatever. But yeah. P4, P5 will be Leclerc and Verstappen, followed by Antonelli and Hadjar, and then Hamilton. Let's go with that. Maybe Hadjar over Hamilton. That should have been my crazy prediction of the week, Guillermo. But yeah, what about you? Let me know. Keshlin says, my 3 teams are the exact same. I know that's not good, but I'm confident I can win in my private league, so I want to lock the top 3. Last season, I got P1, P2, P4 when I had different teams. Go for it, Keshlin. If it's working, go for it. That's great. I think Piastri, Norris, Max, Russell, and Tsunoda. Ooh, you think Tsunoda's going to have a bounce back? Let's see. So if Tsunoda scores 5th, he'll be in a pretty good shot to kind of rise up again. But yeah, it wouldn't be the worst thing in the world if Tsunoda had a cup one more, if he scores another 13 points, and then going into Miami, it could be kind of on the table for Saudi to have him as a limitless option. Tsunoda out in Q2, in my opinion. Love Yuki, but it's not looking good for him. It's still Ant will make podium. I'm fingers crossed, because if Ant makes podium Parzival, then that means that the Mercedes builds are doing quite well as well, which is really nice. Austin thinks same podium as Guillermo, but Hamilton P5. Mr. Eisman, João Pedro, 2 penalties down. Do you still have the triple captain left? I do, and don't know whether to go for Saka or Marmoush. I'd probably go for Marmoush. Yeah, I just think with Arsenal still in the Champions League, that would probably go with that. Piastri, Norris, Russell, good luck. You're also to you, Mark. Good luck with your weekend. Hopefully I will see you guys all on the cool down room for the Grand Prix tomorrow, 1 hour after that. Time for the intro. Yep, time for Carlos Sainz to kind of swoop back some hair, looking fabulous as always. Tsunoda will cook, says Guillermo. Austin said, I really hope Antonelli does well. Both are my teams, and for him to just keep improving. Toto loves him. He's taking such good care. Yes. Yeah, I think Antonelli, he's fine. I haven't been blown away, but I've been pretty impressed. I think I said I wasn't impressed. And I probably have to walk that back a little bit. James A says, I've got Norris, Behrman, Ocon, Hulkenberg, Stroll, and McLaren Haas. I was thinking of taking a template or alternatively swapping Hulkenberg for Hadjar and rolling 3 transfers to Saudi for some flexibility. Hulkenberg to Hadjar will leave you with Norris, Behrman, Ocon, Hadjar, Stroll, McLaren. That's a great budget building team, James. And the fact that we're 2 minutes to the deadline, I think I would say maybe just that budget building squad is fine. You'll have plenty of flexibility for Saudi Arabia, and you can maybe get to the McLaren Mercedes build for a little less hits. Mr. Asmus says, cheers. Thanks for the sunglasses flip. I'll let you know how it goes. Thanks to you, Parzival. Appreciate you being on there. Thanks for the advice. Yep. Well, NUFC, I would love them to get Champions League football, Sammy, because then that probably means that Man City didn't, and that would be hilarious. I should probably look at this Grid Rivals team because I don't have any. So I'll lock in Hadjar. You do the predictor. I do. I have a league. You just got to search for F1 Fantasy pole position, so you can join it there. But I'll start posting it in the description below, Ricardo. Will Ant and Yuki be viable as cheap double premium? I think Antonelli will soon. I'm not sure about. I'm not entirely sure about Yuki yet. Just for that purpose as well. Who else I got? I got one team here. I'm going to go Racing Bulls. Lock them in for 2 races. I'm doing my Grid Rivals team with literally 50 seconds to go. I've got drivers at 36 million. I will do Lando Norris, and I'll lock him in for 5 races. Bingo, bango. There we go. I'm going to go Hadjar as my driver, and that's it. The lineup is complete. Show the F1 predictions. Oh, man. I don't think I can get there in time, but I'll try. I think it just locked. I think it literally just locked. 20 seconds. But I've got Piastri, Norris, Russell, 1, 2, 3. I've got Piastri pole. I've got Behrman to be Ocon in qualifying. I've got Gasly in Q2. I've got McLaren to record the fastest pit stop. Pierre Gasly to finish the race ahead. Saying yes to VSC. Saying Oscar will win fastest lap. I'm saying 19 cars will finish. And I'll say that Mercedes is ahead of Red Bull. Regardless, good luck, everyone. Really, thanks for the answer. I'm 47 points because I topped the picture. I'm smoking y'all. Haha. Dang it. Okay, we got to get back to it then. Jeremy Pius says, thanks you. And yeah, that's it. We are done, folks. Thank you for a great stream. I hope I will see you all tomorrow on the cool down room, and then we'll have more content next week with the the third race of the triple header. But hopefully everyone has a good weekend. Hopefully you guys score great F1 fantasy points and all that fun stuff. But once again, thanks for listening. Thanks for watching, and I will talk to you next time.